Yeah, so yesterday we discussed about the further instructions from Yamdutas. So they were, I think, yeah, further instructions were discussed basically about, um, yeah. So here it is said that Yamdutas were telling one who has accepted a material body, they have to suffer. So basically, all the living entities in the material world are punishable. That was their point. And it was we also elaborately discussed on how one must suffer or enjoy the corresponding reactions of one's karma, and that yeah, so basically every all living entities are supposed to be punishable because any activity we do in this material world, irrespective of Krishna consciousness, we get punished, we get karma for that. Only spiritual activity when we do, we get unwind from this karma, and basically we get free from the karmic bondage. And that's how spiritual practice, spiritual activities, these are the very wonderful. These are to be done, whereas other sakarma or akarma that are not to be performed. Or even if it performs, it should be in relation to Krishna consciousness. Then only we get the complete benefit of that. So today we will start with the verse number 48. Okay, let us recite this verse. Mane saiva pure deva
मनसैव पुरे देव
urvarupam vipashyati
पूर्वरूपं
पूर्वरूपं
विपश्यति
विपश्यति
anumimamsate purvam
अनुमीमांसते पूर्वं
अनुमीमांसपूर्वं
manasa bhagavan jaha.
मनसा
मनसा भगवान् अजः
भगवानस्य.
Yes, Ashutosh, translation.
Translation. The omnipotent Yamraj is as good as Lord Brahma, for while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart, like the Paramatma, he mentally observed, he mentally observes the past activities of a living entity, and thus understand how the living entities will act in future lives.
Yeah, so here the position of Yamraj is glorified here. He is as good as Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma does the work of creation, and Yamraj does the work of punishing the living entities. When I say, oh, he's punishing, but actually he's not punishing. He's just giving the reaction to the people. What this basically people only have done different sinful activities, and Yamraj is just punishing them because of their sinful activities. He is not unnecessarily punishing anyone. So he is as good as Lord Brahma, and 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 here it is said while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart like a Paramatma. So one may say, oh, Paramatma is only one super soul. How this Yamraj also is like Paramatma, and he mentally observes the past activities of living entity and thus understands the living entity will act in future life. So even when I read it first time, I was little doubtful how they are telling that Yamraj will be is also like super soul. So Prabhupada clarifies in the purport. Okay, Arvind Prabhu, can you read purport?
Yes, Prabhuji. One should not consider Yamaraja an ordinary living being. He is as good as Lord Brahma. He has the complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. And therefore, by the grace of Supreme Soul, he can see the past, present, and future of living being from within. The word Anumun Anumamsite means that he can decide the consultation with the super soul. Anu means following. The actual decisions concerning the next life of living entities are made by super soul and they are carried out by Yamaraja.
Yeah, so here Prabhupada is clarifying that one should not consider Yamraj an ordinary living being. And ahead it is said he is good as Brahma and he has complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord. So he is situated in everyone's heart means basically he is in complete cooperation with the Supreme Lord who is situated as super soul in everyone's heart. And by the grace of the super soul, Yamraj can see the past, present, and future of a living entity from within. So they are in sync with each other. So that means any living entity does any sinful activity, immediately the super soul is always watching. So in that way, all the super soul gets to know, okay, what all things he has done. Because we say no that Paramatma and Atma, two birds are sitting on the same tree. So one bird is doing different activities, another bird is just watching the activities of the first bird. So like that, Paramatma is watching all our activities, whatever we are doing, and then he is completely in sync with Yamaraj. So then he tells as it is what all things are done to Yamaraj, and then Yamaraj will decide what punishment to be given. So and Prabhupada again tells, so in that way, Yamaraj is able to see past, present, and future of a living entity from within. So, and here it is said, the word Anu Mimamsate means that he can decide in consultation with the super soul. So this is very important. He can decide not on his own. He has to decide with consultation with super soul. And ahead it is said the actual decision concerning the next life of living entity are made by super soul only, and they are carried out by Yamraj. So basically, all this decision, especially what body to be given next, according to our we know according to our karma we get next body, but that is decided by super soul, and then Yamraj just carries out those instructions. When in the purport it is said that omnipotent Yamraj is like Brahma, for while situated in his own abode, he, in everyone's heart, like Paramatma, he mentally observes the past activity of the living entity. So, because he is in sync with the super soul, he is also able to understand all the past, present, and future of the living entity from within, and thus understands how he will act. Correct. Okay, next verse 49. यथाज्ञस्तमसायुक्त
यथाज्ञसंशययुक्त
ते व्यक्तमेव हि
उपस्थे
उपपद्यते
उपास्य
व्यक्तम्
व्यक्तमेव हि
इव हि
न वेद पूर्वमपरम्
न
न
वेद
न
वेद
वेद
पूर्वम्
पूर्वम्
अपरम्
परम्
नष्टजन्मा स्मृतिस्तथा.
नष्टजन्म
नष्टजन्मा
नष्टजन्मा
स्मृत तथा
स्मृतिस्तथा.
Yes, Aditya Rajput, translation.
as a sleeping person acts according to the body manifested in his dreams and accepts it to be himself. So one identifies with his present body, which he acquired because of his past religious or irreligious actions, and he is unable to know his past or future lives.
Yeah. So, as a sleeping person acts according to the body manifested in his dreams and accepts it to be himself. So, in this regard, I remember one, of course, that is about daydreaming. One person was there, very poor person, not much things with him, but he had a lot of pots with him, mud pots were kept. And he thought, he was just thinking that, oh, I will become very big millionaire, billionaire person. So then he just daytime he was sleeping. In the sleeping he started dreaming that oh I once these all pots I will sell these pots and then I will get a lot of profit, and then with that profit I will take more pots, and then more pots more profit will come. I will earn more. I'll get a lot of money, and then I will get married, and I will have a wife and I will tell her to do whatever I want. I'll make her like a servant, and if she doesn't listen to me then I will kick her. So he just said like that, and so dream he was thinking on all this. This will happen, that will happen, and I will kick her when he says. So he kicks whatever the 5-10 pots were there in front of him. He actually kicked that, and all his dream, what he started from that 5-10 pots, they are all now gone. They are not there. In that way, then he's just lamented. Oh, what is this? So that is a daydreamer. But here it is said about a sleeping soul. Sometimes he sees some dream and he starts identifying with that. And because of that particular dream, the things which are happening, he starts thinking that actually I am only in that place and these things are happening with me. So he identifies himself with the body in the dream and he forgets the current body. So, like, there was some like once one place it was mentioned that one person when he was sleeping he in the midnight suddenly he started thinking of some tiger lions and all they are running after him and he is in the forest and these animals very voracious animals they are running after him and he is thinking that they are just going to catch me now and he is very much fearful all the sweat is coming and actually he is sweating While sleeping, he is also sweat is coming whereas he is sleeping in a AC room, but still he is sweating because he seeing something in the dream that this thing is happening, and suddenly something happens and somebody wakes him up, and just he becomes little alert initially, and then he understand, oh, thank God I got saved. No tigers are like chasing behind me or like that. Anyone has such kind of dream? Not maybe
During
exactly, but
during
some.
exam, Prabhuji.
Okay, during exam, correct.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sometimes in the dream also we are solving some problems because basically when whole day we are studying
Yes,
something,
Prabhuji.
also some things will keep coming, and then morning when we get up we see that the sleep is not so satisfactory. Some things are always going on and we are into that.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mind is very active. So mind does not get any rest. So that's how we are going on in that. Correct. Yes, Aditya Rajput.
Prabhu, I had a doubt that if we in this life we have done bad karma. After doing bad karma, we came to know that we are doing bad karma. We are doing bad karma, and we came to Krishna consciousness. That will be uh, erased, or it will be continuing, bro.
After practicing Krishna consciousness,
After practicing Krishna consciousness, it will be erased by the Lord, or it
hmm,
will be
practice
continuing.
of Krishna consciousness will nullify all the bad karmas from one's life.
Okay.
But the practice should be very with lot of intensity.
Mm.
Otherwise, if practice is not to the proper, then karmas will be there. And of course, certain things will be changed in your life, but still some karma acting will be there. Not that that's it. Now I came to Krishna consciousness. No more diseases, no more. So we should not expect like that. So things will come. Basically, Lord, what I heard from Radhesham Prabhu said that sometimes he will not remove all the karmas at a time. So he will keep all karmas with him. And in case we become little inattentive in our devotional service, then karmas we will keep giving in between. So because
Okay.
we are not fully pure, we are
Yeah.
still in the practicing stage. So that's why all karmas will not be nullified. It will be nullified to the extent we are practicing. So as soon as we commit some mistake, then karmas may come back also. So that's we have to be very careful.
We need to learn lessons from those karmas.
Yes, correct. So anything good happens in our life, we should think that it is by the mercy of the Lord that it happened. I got good results. I got good things. I got such wonderful parents. I got good samskaras. So all these
Yes.
things, whenever any good happens, we think that it is mercy of the Lord. And
Yes.
anything bad goes, then we think that this is because of my past karma that I am getting suffering, getting miseries. So like that. And sometimes we may get like once some devotees were cutting vegetables and one's finger got cut. And Prabhupada said actually your means hands were supposed to be cut, but only Krishna has given a token punishment. So that should be our attitude. And that is always good when we keep such attitude. And of course, that is true also, not just attitude, but it is actually true. Sometimes some things were very dangerous things were supposed to happen in our life, but we get only token punishment of that. So we should understand that this is the mercy of the Lord. So instead of thinking, oh, why this happened to me? Even that devotee was saying, Prabhupada, I am cutting subjects for Krishna. Why Krishna cut my finger? So then that time Prabhupada said that actually her hand was supposed to cut and Krishna is giving token punishment. Then he immediately understood. So we should be always seeing the positive side, whatever things happen in our life. Okay, let us go to the purport. Yes, Abhishek, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. A man engages in sinful activities because he does not know what he did in his past life to get his present materially conditioned body, which is subjected to the threefold miseries, as stated by uh,
Rishabh Dev.
Rasabhadev in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4, Nunam Paramat, uh, Pramata
Pramati, Kurute, Karim.
Kurute Vikrama. A human being who is mad after sense gratification does not hesitate to act sinfully. Yad Indriya
Pritaya
Pritaya
Aprinoti.
ap, Aprinoti. He performs sinful actions simply for sense gratification. Na sadhu manye, he is not good. Yata atmano
Tannapi
arnam
kleshita asudeha.
deha. Because of such sinful actions, one receives another body in which to suffer as he is suffering in his present body because of his past sinful activities. It should be
Yeah.
understood.
Yes, yes. So man engages in sinful activities because he does not know what he did in his past life to get his present materially conditioned body. Because sometimes one is forced to act in sinful way, which he doesn't know why it is happening. Like there are some boys from the childhood itself, they had that tendency to steal something, or as soon as they go to somebody's home, they'll go and they will steal something and bring. So they had that tendency. They don't know how this conditioning has come to me. So basically, it has come because of the past life. Past life, they must have already having this tendency of stealing or criminal activities. So now that is continuing. So in this life, even though they are small, so it is like that is the no, bijam, putam, falonmukham. So that prarabdha, karmas are there. So initially, it is bij. Bij means very seed form, and then slowly it will fructify, then it comes and it fructifies properly. That is a falonmukham, the final stage. So beach means it is just little proclivity is there. It has, or sometimes it is not manifested. Beach means it is there, but it has not manifested. But as we grow, like small child is there, you don't see any conditioning with him. He is a pure child, without any lust, anger. He doesn't have envy with anyone, no pride, and so all pure he looks like. But all his anathas are in seed form that time. Then as he grows, then you see that he's envying. Sometimes he tells the mother, "Oh, why you are why you are loving that other neighbor's child so much? I am," and he wants that mother should love only me. So like that, he gets envy also why this is happening. Or sometimes some things are given to someone, the child immediately says, "No, no, this is my belongs to me. Why should you give to him?" They then sometimes you may see the child becoming angry also. So they will become angry on their mother, father also. Small child. So this how you have seen, no? Some child they try to with small hands they'll try to beat their mother, father. So that is because their anger is coming out. So different anarthas keep coming out like that. So beach, and then it has now fructifying little bit. So like that stealing tendency also. Initially he may have that stealing tendency, goes and does something. Unknowingly he is doing that. But problem is we should not let it grow more. As soon as the parent should immediately give samskaras to child. Oh, this is not good. You should not do that. Proper some punishment or some chastisement should be given to him. Then he will not, next time when he is doing, he will think twice. Oh, my parents, they have already told me. Still, some things may happen, but again, by proper samskaras, he may overcome that tendency. But if it is not given proper samskaras, then parents is okay, no problem. Very nice, you brought this, no? Very nice. We already had lacking. Next time you go, next time you bring something else more valuable. So then it is like fanning that particular sinful proclivity of that living entity, and then you see that he will become a criminal. So there was one story also. We had gone to one school for BG contest announcement. So daily they read a particular story and a moral. So in the entire assembly of the students, they tell that. So that day they were telling this story that when so this person, this boy, he becomes criminal in his young age, and then he was put behind bars. And then the mother comes to meet this boy. So the as soon as the mother comes, the boy slaps the mother, and the mother says, "Oh, what happened?" So he said that you are crying now that I am inside, but actually because of you only I am here. You did not stop me the first time when I did stealing. You did not stop me that time, and because of that now I am here. So like that, then so basically proper samskara. So they told this story in that assembly. Yes. Next paragraph. Naman Pro.
It should be noted, it should be understood that a person who does not have Vedic knowledge always acts in ignorance of what he has done in the past, what he is doing at present, and how he will suffer in the future. He is completely in darkness. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is tamasima, don't remain in darkness. Jyotirgama, try to go to the light. The light or illumination is Vedic knowledge, which one can understand when he is elevated to the mode of goodness or when he transcends the mode of goodness by engaging in devotional service to the spiritual master and the supreme lord. This is described in Shvetashwara Upanishad. यस्य देवे पराभक्ते यथा देवे तथा गुरौ तस्य इत कथित हि अर्थ प्रकाशन्ते महात्मना.
Yeah.
And to those and to those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. The Vedas enjoin tad vijnanatham sagurum eva vigachet. One must approach a spiritual master who has full knowledge of Vedas and be faithfully directed by him in order to become a devotee of the Lord. Then the knowledge of the Vedas will be revealed. When the Vedic knowledge is revealed, one is no longer no one one need no longer remain in the darkness of material nature.
Yeah.
According to
So
according to
basically,
his associate.
yeah. So basically, tamso ma jyotirgamaya. That means don't remain in darkness, go to the light. Tamsoma, tama means darkness. Jyotirgama, go to the light. So Vedic knowledge always tells that don't act in ignorance, because in ignorance, what happens is we don't know what has happened, what has done in the past, and what one is doing in the present, and how he will suffer in the future. So we say no, ignorance is bliss. So in ignorance, people don't think of all this, and basically they think, oh, everything is going nicely, but then the suffering comes in their life. And of course, in ignorance also they are suffering. Only thing they don't know or they don't understand that I am suffering. So here, Prabhupada is quoting this verse and telling how one can come out of this darkness is. What is the solution? Yes, how can one come out of the darkness of ignorance?
By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
No,
Association
that
of
is correct.
this.
But what Prabhupada is telling here?
Vedic knowledge.
Approaching a spiritual master.
Yeah, approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So Vedic knowledge is also there, but Vedic knowledge tells that one should approach a bona fide spiritual master. So, like initially, I recited the prayers. What was that? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So, Om Ajnana. That means by we are praying to the Guru actually. Om Ajnana, please. What we say? I am filled with a darkness of ignorance. Please enlighten me with the torchlight of knowledge. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya. So every day we pray that I am not qualified to speak anything on this very elevated topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I am already situated in ignorance, not knowing my identity and other things. But still, the Guru, he has the capacity to enlighten a disciple. So in that way, we always pray. Om Agyanti Virandasya. So one more, it is said here, Tad Vijnanatham Sa Gurum Eva Vigachet. One must approach a spiritual master who has full knowledge of the Vedas and be faithfully directed by him in order to become devotee of the Lord. Then the knowledge of the Vedas will be revealed. So Vedas tell about approaching a spiritual master. By approaching a spiritual master, surrender to him, knowledge of the Vedas will be revealed even more, and more in deep knowledge we get, more realized knowledge we get, and then we no longer remain in the darkness of material nature. So we come out of this three modes also. Okay, next paragraph. Yes, next is Abhinav Pro.
Hare Krishna. According to his association with the material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, a living entity gets a particular type of body. The example of one who associates with the mode of goodness is a qualified Brahmana. Such a Brahmana knows past, present, and future because he consults the Vedic literature and sees through the eyes of Shastra Chakshu. He can understand what his past life was, why he is in the present body, and how he can obtain liberation from the clutches of Maya and not accept another material body. This is all possible when one is situated in the mode of goodness. Generally, however, the living entities are engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. In
Yeah,
any case, ignorance. Do you want me to read ahead?
sufficient. We'll discuss this and then go ahead.
Sure. Haribol.
Okay, so here it is said three modes of material nature a living entity gets in touch with, association with, and then based on that he gets a particular type of body. So one who associates with mode of goodness, he gets a Brahmana body. So even it is said that even if a person dies in the mode of goodness, so if he has to become an animal or lower species, in animal also he will get a body of mode of goodness. Anyone knows who is animal in the mode of goodness?
Cow.
Cow, correct. Cow is an animal in the mode of, so cow is Brahmana amongst animals. So like that. And passionate animals, anyone knows?
Tiger.
Yeah, correct.
Lion.
Lion.
Tiger, lion, all the carnivorous animals, they come in that category. And even, animals in mode of good, sorry, ignorance. Who are those?
Polar bear.
Polar bear. Why polar bear?
6 months
Common
sleep.
sleeping.
Yeah, he sleeps for 6 months. And who else?
Pig.
Pig.
Mode of ignorance. Yes,
Pig.
pig. Yeah, correct. Pig is he goes to all the filthy places and eats stool and other things. So who else? One more look example I'm looking. People nowadays take that animal all over the place.
Dog.
Dog.
Dog. Correct. Dog is actually the very he is in a mode of ignorance actually. And some people they always there are people they divorce their wives, they leave their parents, they stay alone and they keep a dog with them. That this is he is the only my companion and I should live with him. Many people, even I have seen even in India, parents, their mother, fathers, sister, brothers, sons and daughters, they are settled in US and they are staying with the dog 2 3 even my one of my relative I saw their home recently when I went they have kept a dog their son is in US and daughter got married in India only but they kept one or I think initially one was there now two or three are there one big dog one small white color and they nicely kiss them and nicely take care of them bring when the son came from US they told him bring all the biscuits because in India you don't get biscuits for the dog. So they told that you should bring all that and very costly. So costly it was. Instead of offering like when we go to temple, we generally take some fruits or flowers. Or in our Kunjaberi temple, there is a just outside the temple there is this coconut wala is there, nariyal pani. So all people whoever is coming, they purchase that nariyal pani and bring it to the Lord and they give it and so they give it to the Lord and offer. So in ashram, in Brahmacharya ashram, all the remaining Mahaprasad comes. So there is a big, so many nariyal pani is there. So whenever we go, this is so much is there. Just cut and you take the Mahaprasad. So here we see that people like they want to offer this nice fruits and vegetables and flowers to the Lord. And but if somebody is not in Krishna consciousness or not going to temple and all, he will utilize that for his this dog. So that's why Prabhupada used to say, no, either worship God or dog. It's like totally opposite. God and then dog is that's so people. And one more thing is dog. Why he is considered as tamaguni animal because he eats his own this vomit. So he vomits and then eats that also. So that is a very abominable thing. So that's the level of dog. And such dog are worshipped in the homes. They keep him, they let the dog roam all around the home. He can go anywhere he wants. It seems that the master who is actually looking like a master, he's serving the dog. So sometimes it is very difficult to understand who is master and who is servant. Whether the dog is a servant or dog is master. And actual master is acting as a servant.
And they create names, for that dogs.
Yeah, they'll keep some names also. So like that. Okay, next Umang Pro, next paragraph.
Yes, Pruji. In any case, one receives an inferior or superior body at the discretion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, as stated in the previous verse. Manasev pure पुरे देवः पूर्वरूपं विपश्यति अनुमीमांसते पूर्वं मनसा Bhagwana Aja. Everything depends on Bhagwan or Aja, the unborn. Why doesn't one please Bhagwan to receive a better body? The answer is Ajnas Tamasa, because of gross ignorance. One who is in complete darkness cannot know what his past life was or what his next life will be. He is simply interested in his present body. Even though he has a human body, a person in the mode of ignorance and interested only in his present body is like an animal. For an animal, being covered by ignorance thinks that the ultimate goal of life and happiness is to eat as much as possible. A human being must be educated to understand his past life and how he can endeavor for a better life in the future. There is even a book called Bhrigu Samhita, which reveals information about one's past, present, and future lives according to astrological calculations. Somehow or other, one must be enlightened about his past, present, and future. One who is interested only in his present body and who tries to enjoy his senses to the fullest extent is understood to be engrossed in the mode of ignorance. His future is very, very dark. Indeed, the future is always dark for one who is grossly covered by ignorance. Especially in his age, human society is covered by the mode of ignorance, and therefore everyone thinks his present body to be everything without consideration of the past or future.
Yeah, like once I remember some people were asking me that, oh, why, like when we were telling this philosophy, they are not so interested. But because they were asking, I told. So then they said, oh, why to think about such future? No, who has seen? We don't know why we should be so much worried. क्या शरीर मिलने वाला है आगे, जानवर का रहेगा या this that. They're saying why to worry? Just live peaceful in the present life. Just go on, enjoy the life, and who has in the future, just enjoy whatever is, think that this is the only life and enjoy as much as possible. So basically, this is ignorance. What Prabhupada is telling here. This ignorance because if a boy is studying in a college and as soon as he gets admission in for engineering and then he says engineering or medical, so then he says, oh, now no more studies. Now I have taken admission in this college. Now that's it. I will get a degree. So he thinking that way. He just enjoys all his 4, 5 years. He just enjoys here and there. Does not study properly. Will he pass? Will he get the degree? No, he will be just considered a fool. Not only every year, even there are every 2 months there is exam. One has to appear for that, study for that. Then there are practicals, orals, and lot of assignments. Different things will be there. So he has to study for everything. Not that once he gets admission, that's it. Now he is going to get degree. There are quite good number of boys who, after taking admission in the college, also they get year down because of this only. They think, oh, why to think about future? Who has seen the exam will come? Let me now just focus on my uh, and just enjoy the life. So then that is actually ignorance. So when people are saying that why you think about the future life, that is also in this way only. It comes in ignorance. Okay, next verse, text 50. पंचभिः कुरुते स्वार्थान्
पञ्चभिः कुरुते स्वार्थान्
पंचभेदाथ पंचभिः
पञ्चवेदात पञ्चभिः
एकस्तु षोडशेन्द्रियः
एकचूर्णयन्त्रेण
स्वयं सप्तदशोष्णुते.
स्वयं सप्तदशोऽश्नुते.
Yes, Sagar proof translation.
Above the five senses of perception, the five working senses and the five objects of the senses is the mind, which is the 16th element. Above the mind is the 17th element, the soul, the living being himself, who in cooperation with the other 16 enjoys the material world alone. The living being enjoys three kinds of situation, namely happy, distressful, and mixed.
Yes. So here it is said about five senses of perception, then five working senses, madam, karma indriyas, five objects of senses means jnana indriyas, and five objects of senses is the mind, and then that is 16th element mind, and above that is the soul. And that way total 16 elements. So sometimes distressful and mixed. A little deep translation and purport is there. Yes, who is there? Ashutosh, no? Translation. Okay. Naman, can you read?
Everyone engages in work with his hands, legs, and other senses just to achieve a certain goal according to his concocted ideas. One tries to enjoy the five sense objects, namely form, sound, taste, aroma, touch, not knowing the actual goal of life, which is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Because of disobeying Supreme Lord, one is put into material condition and he then tries to improve his situation in a concocted way, not desiring to follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nevertheless, the Supreme Lord is so kind that he comes himself to instruct the bewildered living entity how to act obediently and then gradually return back home, back to Godhead, where he can attain an eternal, peaceful life of bliss and knowledge. The living entity has a body which is very complicated combination of material elements, and with this body he struggles alone, as indicated in this verse by words ekastu. For example, if one is struggling in the ocean, he must swim through it alone. Although many other men and aquatics are swimming in the ocean, he must take care of himself because no one else will help him. Therefore, this verse indicates that 17th item, the soul, must work alone. Although he tries to create society, friendship, and love, no one else will be able to help him but Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, therefore, his only concern should be how to satisfy Krishna. That is also what Krishna wants. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja. People bewildered by material conditions try to be united, but although they strive for unity among men and nations, all their attempts are futile. Everyone must struggle alone for existence with the many elements of nature. Therefore, one's only hope, as Krishna advises, is to surrender to him, for he can help one become free from the ocean of nations. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore prayed.
Yeah. So here it is said about everyone engages in work with his hands, legs, and other senses to attain a certain goal. One tries to enjoy the five senses and all, but not knowing the actual goal, correct? Because of disobeying, he is put in this. So he comes himself to instruct the bewildered devotee how to act in obediently. So here Prabhupada is giving the example of the living entity. Basically, the soul alone has to work. So if one is struggling in the ocean, he must swim through it alone. Even though there are many other men and aquatics in the same ocean, but swimming he has to do his own self. So similarly, this verse indicates the 17th item, the soul must work alone. So all other things are there, but still, so although he tries to create society, friendship, love, no one will help him but Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So basically, we know also that you know that story, no? That four what is that? One man was there having four wives. Anyone knows the story? Man with four wives.
Yeah, one king used to have four wives, and while going, dying king asks first wife, "Will you die with me?" So every wife says no. Only fourth wife says yes.
Yeah, correct. So basically, the he says that I'm going to die now. Basically, he was one wife. He was always neglecting. One more, so I think he was. Um,
Fourth
First
wife
wife
is
was
like,
so the first wife was body, second wife was family and friends, third wife was possession, wealth, and fourth was soul.
oh,
yes.
correct.
He used to least bother about the fourth wife, but only fourth wife comes.
Okay.
Only fourth wife comes. So everybody, as soon as they come to know, they say that we are now leaving you. Hmm. I'm just checking if I have that video. This one. Yeah, I got it.
मिले very quick suggestions on top fashion brands. Easy returns with no convenience fee. Lucky fashion.
Yes, I'll just share the screen. Sound is coming, no?
There was a rich merchant who had 4 wives. He loved the 4th wife the most and adorned her with rich robes and treated her to delicacies. He took great care of her and gave her nothing but the best. He also loved the 3rd wife very much. He's very proud of her and always wanted to show off her to his friends. However, the merchant is always in great fear that she might run away with some other men. He too loved his 2nd wife. She is a very considerate person, always patient, and in fact is the merchant's confidant. Whenever the merchant faced some problems, he always turned to his 2nd wife, and she would always help him out and tide him through difficult times. Now the merchant's 1st wife is a very loyal partner and has made great contributions in maintaining his wealth and business as well as taking care of the household. However, the merchant did not love the 1st wife, and although she loved him deeply, he hardly took notice of her. One day, the merchant fell ill. Before long, he knew that he was going to die soon. He thought of his luxurious life and told himself, "Now I have 4 wives with me, but when I die, I'll be alone. How lonely I'll be." Thus, he asked the 4th wife, "I love you most, endowed you with the finest clothing and showered great care over you. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company?" "No way," replied the 4th wife, and she walked away without another word. The answer cut like a sharp knife right into the merchant's heart. The sad merchant then asked the 3rd wife, "I have loved you so much for all of my life. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company?" "No," replied the 3rd wife. "Life is so good over here. I'm going to remarry when you die." The merchant's heart sank and turned cold. He then asked the 2nd wife, "I always turn to you for help, and you've always helped me out. Now I need your help again. When I die, will you follow me and keep me company?" "I'm sorry, I can't help you out this time," replied the 2nd wife. "At the very most, I can only send you to your grave." The answer came like a bolt of thunder, and the merchant was devastated. Then a voice called out, "I'll leave with you. I'll follow you no matter where you go." The merchant looked up, and there was his 1st wife. She was so skinny, almost like she suffered from malnutrition. Greatly grieved, the merchant said, "I should have taken much better care of you while I could have." Actually, we all have 4 wives in our lives. The 4th wife is our body. No matter how much time and effort we lavish in making it look good, it'll leave us when we die. Our 3rd wife? Our possessions, status, and wealth. When we die, they all go to others. The 2nd wife is our family and friends. No matter how close they had been there for us when we're alive, the furthest they can stay by us is up to the grave. The 1st wife is in fact our soul, often neglected in our pursuit of material, wealth, and sensual pleasure. Guess what? It is actually the only thing that follows us wherever we go. Perhaps it's a good idea to cultivate and strengthen it now, rather than to wait until we're on our deathbed to lament.
Yeah, so you saw this?
This story is brought to you by selfhelpbooks.org and self-help.
Yeah, so here it is said about the 4th wife is compared to the body. Basically, as soon as one dies, body gone. Body cannot follow the soul. Then second wife, the 3rd wife was like the material possessions. Yeah. 4th wife, 3rd wife was like material possessions. So what the 3rd wife says in that story, what she will do?
She will marry another one.
Yeah, remarry. She will marry somebody else. So basically, all the wealth, possessions, whatever we have, the ornaments and everything, it will go to somebody else. So in that way, that 3rd wife will marry to somebody else. And the 2nd wife is compared to whom?
Family and
Family,
friends.
friends.
Family, friends, and relatives. So they said that okay, we will come till graveyard. That till that time only we can come. We can't come with you. And the fourth one, actually, it should be super soul, not soul. The person who is living is soul, and the fourth person who the fourth sorry first wife who is always accompanying the soul, that is the super soul. So that's why it says Krishna is always going to be with us. So most of the people they neglect the Supreme Lord. The most neglectful thing in their life is Supreme Lord, Super Soul. And then at the end of the life, when they are going to the next body, Super Soul only comes with them. So the two birds, one bird goes from one tree to another. Super Soul also goes with him. All other his friends, relatives, wealth, possession, body, everything remains back. So like that. Okay, so we have crossed the time. Hmm. So basically here ahead, we'll just finish this one particular purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed that Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavambudo Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dhuli Sadrusham Vichintaya. Yes, Abhinav Prabhu, can you read? Translation.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
O Krishna, beloved son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. But somehow or other, I have fallen into this ocean of nescience. And although I am struggling very hard, there is no way I can save myself. If you kindly pick me up and fix me as one of the particles of the dust at your lotus feet, that will save me. In a similar way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang, Anadi Karama Phale,
Padi Bhavana Vajane. You can read it in Bengali.
Pariharana Yeah. My dear Lord, I cannot remember when I somehow or other fell into this ocean of nescience, and now I can find no way to rescue myself. We should remember that everyone is responsible for his own life. If an individual becomes a poor devotee of Krishna, then he is delivered from the ocean of nescience.
Yeah, I cannot remember when I somehow or other fell into the ocean of nations. This is who Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, the grand spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. Now I can find, no, not grand, it's even above that. Spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his guru is Gaur Kishadas Babaji Maharaj, and above in that line comes Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So now I can find no other way to rescue myself. We should remember that everyone is responsible for his own life, nobody else to be blamed. If an individual becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, he is then delivered from the ocean of nations. So basically, everyone has to fly their own plane. So we may have a lot of relatives and different people. So many people are there, friends and everyone. But when it comes to fly our plane to the spiritual world, we are alone. Everyone has to fly their own plane. Nobody is going to tell Prabhu do like this. Initially we can guide, like it is said, no, the runway. When the flight is going like this, initially okay, you tell the airport people, they will make all arrangements and all. But once it goes ahead, then the pilot only has to take care. Of course, still there will be some indications and all, but still, we see that initially all like now we are on runway only. When death comes, that is the time when we have to take off to the spiritual world. So that happens only by our own practice, our own chanting. We have to do properly reading, hearing, all this. We have to gather strength from all the sources and become very strong. And once we are strong, then we see that swiftly we can progress towards the spiritual destination. So thank you all very much. We end our today's discussion here. So next Saturday we will meet again. Next Saturday we will continue the discussion and the instructions of Yamdutas. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful class.
Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Aditya Raj.
Prabhu, yesterday my friend came now, Prabhu.
No?
Yesterday my friend came now, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah, her mother was telling that, her mother was saying to him that next time, how will you go? I will see how will you go. He
Hmm.
was, and he was very scary. But like he's telling to her mother, I will go. This is our out of life. This is out of life's education. This is not a material education. This is out of life. What happens after death? And her father said, "Okay, you go. I will support you." Her mother wants some time.
Yeah, he can say that I am going for some studies with some friends.
He
So he
can say
can come for the program and go back.
that he is going temple.
Yeah, I should not tell I'm going to temple. Sometimes parents feel little fearful when the
So you
young.
can stop recording, bro.